Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Mixed Bag Podcast with your co-host, the Golden Hipster, GG Films. We do not have T-Money with us, but we do have a special guest, Rish, the rock star.
What's good?
Some may say he's the next Bollywood director in the making.
We're just going straight for it.
Others will say just a regular chap off the block.
Some would say just a young man wanting to find love like the rest of us.
With a dream and a passion, yeah.
The only true.
Some say the next M. Night Shyamalan. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. It's an honor. This is something I've been looking forward to for a long time because I've been just hearing it for the past few years, I guess.
You were a super fan for all of 2021. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, of course.
You're the reason why our Spotify is where it's at, like rated wise. You made all those accounts for us. You didn't have to, but
Thank you. I'm glad that I brought something to the table.
Mm-hmm.
You did.
Give a little background history. What's your career, profession, or like hobby?
I wanted to just be a video editor, filmmaker, someone who goes into the field of editing, script writing, anything that is narrative based.
Is that kind of your origin story, or what do you think? You can kind of reel back if you want to, not too far.
Okay.
Just give us your origin story. Make yourself a superhero.
I'll be okay. Well,
are you Venom? Or are you? I don't know. Spider.
You said Venom.
Well, Eddie Brock. No, I won't call myself Eddie Brock. Eddie, yeah, he's the opposite. He's very toxic. But I do feel like him today, because adulting.
Why?
Adulting. Well,
adulting.
Yeah, adulting. It's that could be the theme of this podcast.
It's tough.
It's tough. Yeah. And kind of going back to my life, my past, when I was not an adult, I was born in India in 1999, not in 2006.
99?
I was born in 99, yeah.
So young, man.
That's pretty young. So
sweet deal. What part?
So there's in Mumbai, the main kind of city capital area of Mumbai. There was a small kind of district there. And so it's a big place, India, and it's going to be like one of the 8 billion people are going to be. This is going to be 8 billion. Is going to be the population.
We're already there. We're already there.
We're getting there. Yeah.
I mean, you guys are going to pass. We're going to
pass China. Yeah.
That's where you're going.
So it's a big place, and so it's hard to kind of describe every single spot. Because my parents are from one side, my mom, dad and mom, their family are from different.
They have a pretty cool story. They have a cool love story.
Pretty cool love story, yeah. And I was kind of both of them, all of us. We were born in Thane, which is kind of this district of apartments and neighborhoods and complexes.
It's because most Americans are culturally attuned to what other countries are doing, but
That's true.
India's really really diverse.
They are
culturally.
They're very diverse culture. We have like all sorts of religions. We Christians. Dialects. And
you have parks over there?
We got a lot of parks over there. Yeah.
You've been back since you moved here?
I've not been back actually. It's been because it was a whole stamping thing. The stamping process it was a government.
We don't stamp
on your body or where?
No, on my body on the we call it stamp because there's this approval thing that goes on with the documents that are being processed and we need to. There's a waiting period to us being
to head back
to be accepted to be permanent residents and citizens. So then we can be eligible for going to India and then coming back. Actually, from coming back to the United States is terrible. There have been stories where people with not the right kind of documentation have gone to their original country, but they've not been able to come back because of
your parents though. They've been able to go back and forth.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They have been?
They during college when sophomore year it was or freshman year when
like in the 90s.
Yeah, pretty much because of this.
Who's freshman year?
My
freshman year. They were
my freshman year. I thought you were making fun of my beard because I look pretty old and so
I thought you were 48. I mean, it's born in 99.
You're a handsome middle-aged chap. Come on.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man. You guys are definitely hyping me up now.
But it's good. So you really kind of.
That's what we do here.
You like to be close with your ties.
Close to my ties, indeed. Yeah. Well, essentially, freshman and sophomore year were like the difficult parts because my parents were their parent. Their father, my maternal grandfather passed away, and my paternal grandfather passed away, and this is like a year apart. So both of them didn't have the right documentation, and so it was really risky for them to go. But luckily,
But they went.
they still went because they had to go and they had to, the funeral and everything, and other family members who were coming to the funeral, the event, the community. So the whole community kind of knew about, all of this, and we wanted to support and we wanted to ensure that we're there. I never got to go there because I was in college. This is the time when I met Gio,
yeah,
sure, and that's kind of what I want to dive into.
Times,
yeah. So you guys share a passion of filmography or cinematography.
We love filmography. We love it.
We love it. It's something. That's one thing. I mean, we share. It's some kind of a adventure, like Indiana Jones type shit that we've been through.
Keep it PG.
Oh, my bad. Indiana Jones type crap that we've been through because he met me. He came up to me and he.
First time I asked a guy for his phone number.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal for sure. It's the friendship story that everyone should know about because.
We're spilling it tonight, man. We're spilling it.
Yeah, go into great detail about how we met. The moment you knew we would be friends forever.
So, everyone who's listening to the podcast, you guys have never heard about the exclusive details about one of our esteemed,
right now,
people here, Gio. He's a jack of all trades. He's someone who he has this energy to him that rivals everyone.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe for sure. I can never understand how this man, gets up and starts playing the piano when in the morning.
Seriously.
That's how excited he is, and that's how passionate he is for life, and that.
And you feed off that.
We all feed off of it. Yeah.
Maybe you are like Venom,
I'm kind of am. I did feed off because he gave me COVID one time, so that was the wrong kind of feeding off that he did. But
when did I give you COVID?
We've been there too. Don't worry.
I've given so many people COVID.
We're in the same boat. Yeah.
It was.
I made y'all stronger though.
You did. It was definitely a time for me. I think when you get COVID, you're just thinking about your life. You're just thinking, why are we here? Why are we doing all these things? No, it do be like that.
Let's get back on the career
for sure
trajectory. So
the two of us have essentially been. We started off he came up to me when I was walking to my dining hall, and he was just very enthusiastic, and he's like, "Hey, what's your name?" "My name's Gio." And we
perfect impersonation.
Typical chat. Yeah.
Typical chat, yeah. And I didn't know who he was. I thought he was a fourign exchange student. I thought he was. I know this is gonna offend a lot of people, but I thought he was.
Yeah, we just lost half the listeners with that one.
Thanks.
It's fine.
I didn't know who he was, and he just came up, and he was a very gracious chap. Meeting me, and we exchanged phone numbers, and I was like, okay, that was interesting. And the next few times, I think I saw him just. With people, with other folks, he would be, on campus. He would kind of be a presence on
Gio's
campus.
a connector. He connects with people.
Certainly, yeah.
I am an Aquarius, so
he's Aquarius.
So we do. Classic Pisces, bro.
Honestly, man.
I don't know what I am.
I'm a Scorpio. So Scorpio.
I feel like you would be into that stuff.
I'd be into that stuff. Scorpios are very laser sharp focused, and they always needed someone, a connector who can tell them, hey, stop doing that.
Sure.
Go this way instead.
And so with that focus, you've been into short films and
yes.
just recording. So what are some big moments you had during your time in college?
College was me experimenting with what I had in high school. Was editing, and I love to I wanted to get into understanding what was this career of filmmaking, and it was just there was so much lore to it. There's this background with Kuleshov effect and all these different Hitchcock and all these names came up. History is a big thing, but
bird is the word.
It's and
word is the bird.
Mm-hmm.
So
there you go. And that exactly
swag certainly.
That what was it?
Bird is the word.
Bird is the word. I'm gonna write that down. Okay.
It's a song too.
Oh, it's a song.
Yeah, look it up.
That's really dope, man. I'm learning new things, man. Wow.
That's what
we're
all about. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's one thing. The personality. Why do characters talk the way they do? Why are people like this? Gio will definitely know this. I always observe, what's around me. That's what the number one thing for screenwriters or storytellers are. You gotta observe what you're looking.
Every day is like a social experiment.
Exactly.
You're just people watching.
You're people watching.
He only agreed to be on the podcast for research purposes for his screenplay.
So this time, I don't know if I did or not, but I might get some good.
He's studying us.
Yeah, I might be studying a secret. To be honest, it might be an unconscious thing, but it's a social experiment for me because I get to understand a lot of the workings here.
So what's one of the film projects you've done that you're the most proud of so far?
Starting from college, I think I was challenged with doing a lot of like short films, and I think the first film that I had to do was like a no dialogue one for
Classic.
this CP100. It was and I wrote the whole thing. We shot the whole thing. My two high school friends from high school friends, Peyton and David. They're also Christian, and I think they're also
Christian.
They're Christian.
Nice.
They're super.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Respect,
exactly, and they got the same vibes, same geo vibes. Very open, very cool.
Wow.
So they be writing stuff too, and they be writing stuff too. Yeah, she was the one. I think she helped us. She helped me direct this entire thing, and I would say that I got good. That one thing was a good experience.
What's this entire thing? What is this?
So this no dialogue film was about. We basically had to shoot like a 2-minute movie, and just basically no dialogues. Try to use your visuals as much as possible. Understand.
Very creative.
Yeah. Understand like the how visual, like how
the dynamics
of non-linear or is it non-linear?
Sure.
I don't know, man.
Okay. Non-linear editing. I'm not
We're
that expert.
we're experimenting with wording right now. So
We're just making up words. Yo.
Hey,
Webster needs to call us.
Webster said.
No sponsorship.
Oh god.
I think I saw that one. That one was cool though. With the rose. And the love story.
Oh, that one, Collateral Rose.
No,
It's a different one.
That was different.
I'm talking about your film. I think I saw it where they're neighbors, right?
Oh yeah.
But they don't say anything to each other.
That was another one. That was
yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Another film.
That was something that Peyton did for MCM, and there was another one even before that for Cade, which was a group project, and that one was like a different genres that we had to do. One, different. You had to do like a short film compilation of different genres in one short film, and we had to act out these different scenes. And that one was pretty good.
Did you act?
I acted in that one. Yeah, I've had my acting experiences. I do. It's a.
You dabble here and there.
I dabble here and there. Sometimes, I gaze at my goofiness on camera, and I love it. And I'm sure Gio did too. But speaking on the good parts, I made a movie called Paragon, which is one of my most kind of. I love that movie because it was more about me. I was going through a lot at the time because my parents and their parents, the family troubles and my own anxiety, and Gio had left at that point, and Gio had left because
I was still on Earth. But
he was still on Earth.
He couldn't support Rish right next to him.
Exactly. He was not in Carbondale. His presence was not felt. Yeah. He just left, and that I could write a book about the adventures I've been through. Like me and Gio, in Carbondale. How much I learned from him, how much we riffed on the idea of filmmaking and life and people, and it was amazing. But and life, especially life, yeah.
All right, Tales from Carbondale,
exactly.
2030.
Yeah, and we'll leave it for another time if we ever get to do a podcast. We'll do it. We'll do amazing.
Yes, sir. That's awesome. So let's jump a little bit forward to the present. So you're jumping into avenues that are related to that kind of career path. So I remember from a while ago, you went to Chicago.
Yes.
And for a pretty big event. What was that? Kind of elaborate.
So I have been going to Chicago back and forth for, I think, just very recently. It's been a common thing because when my friends, my dad's friends, they had a little theater group, and it's called Mandi Theater, and it's an Indian theater group, and they adapt different plays from India, and so they were calling me for an adaptation of a play, and they needed me to film something, and so this is actually my first time that I was in Chicago. And when I went there, one of the people knew this filmmaker from Chicago. Sure. Her name is Zora. She's a Muslim, and she's very kind of in knee deep into the industry, and she knows like the inside of it and everything. And it's interesting because she's not. She wanted to go to Hollywood, but she's not. She's kind of in the outskirts of that industry. She's kind of getting there eventually. Just recently, she did a really big project in Belize, and they used a Sony Venice 4K camera. I'm just like, how do you get this? And that she just dabbles. You know? She dabbles with a lot of things.
She's a dabbler, just like you.
She's a dabbler, just like me. Yeah.
Yeah, you just
and
get
she's South
inspiration.
Exactly. She's South Asian too, and so
South Asian represent.
South Asian represent. Yeah. So.
But we're not haters for sure.
No. I believe in equality, so.
Thank you. And
Equity.
For all.
Yes, let's emphasis that.
Low-key, I don't know how to add on to you guys' banter, but I just love it. I'm just loving it.
You're trying though, and that's
I'm
all that
trying.
matters.
You're
in
feeding
life,
off it. Don't worry.
I'm feeding off of it. Exactly. I'm actually going by the idea of the equality and everything. That was something too. I go to Chicago. I went to the Chicago South Asian Film Festival too. Later on, it was a kind of free event thing. I volunteered there, but I wanted to see what people are doing, and that was like my second exploration into that.
And that's kind of how you connect, how you network.
Exactly how you network. Yeah. Every time I go to Peoria, by the way, there's always like when I come back, there's always that time where I have to think. I have 15 minutes to just think about my life and all that stuff. And
Good.
I look at there's one thing being friends with Gio has been kind of, and you guys too. Looking at Peoria compared to Bloomington, there's been that one like distinction of how are people living their life? How are they in the moment? How are they doing stuff for the culture, as Gio says. And so
Greedy. We're greedy here. If you want to fight.
Exactly. You guys have your ways of doing things. Sometimes it's greedy, sometimes it's you guys are humble, but it's really interesting to see that dynamic. And looking at that group that Gio has, with his friends group, I was thinking that I need to be like him. I need to have that energy of because he's my only friend.
Like you.
I'll be like me for sure.
But you're getting some qualities from him.
Some qualities from him, which is I've been an introvert. I call myself an introvert, and now I kind of call myself.
You call yourself an introvert?
I do. People say I'm not, but I say I'm an ambivert. I'm kind of mixed up.
Whoa.
Ambivert. See, I told you we come up with words. Let's go.
I'm gonna take that. I'm that too.
You good? Good. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, me too.
Because I don't know, man. I see, like, that's the thing. That's been my biggest issue was that the filmmaking kind of got me into not becoming an introvert.
Out of your
getting
shell.
out of my shell, yeah. Getting into understanding people and talking to them, negotiating with them. I'm going to get into that more. But once I get into the high stuff, the high stakes stuff, I need to be ready for that.
To negotiate? Or...
To negotiate, kind of like, market myself to people.
Well, you're already in that step. It's kind of high. You kind of get on a high when you go to Chicago. I mean,
Exactly.
It's for the first time, it's very overstimulating, especially when you go
It
to
is.
an event that's like
Yeah.
tailored to what you like.
Oh, yeah. It is.
Coming from Blono.
Oh, yeah. I come from Blono, which is, it's fairly populated. It has many Indians. It has a lot of, it's a very diverse community.
Yeah,
But
it is.
I look at Peoria and it's the comparisons are different. We have the State Farm headquarters, but at the same time, I sense a lot of things that are missing in both. But,
For sure.
in Bloomington, for sure. This job, my boss was like, they want to have an editing scene in Bloomington, kind of start up. So
Nice.
Gio might be the perfect time, me and Gio. We might be the perfect people to kind of get that out there. And so that's the thing too, is that Gio, I learned a lot from him. I'm hyping up him. I'm hyping him up for some
Yo, we're
reason.
supposed to be hyping you up.
I'm sorry.
Come on, Brian. Hype him
I don't
up.
know, but
Come on, you're the man. You're the man.
you looking at you guys' group, I come in and I see that you guys are all very ecstatic.
Ecstatic.
You got
Ecstatic.
it. Or just make up a word.
Make a word. Aesthetic. There we go.
Let's get it.
Aesthetic.
Let's get it and exquisite, I guess.
Let's get it. Yes.
Let's get it.
I like it.
Skitty. You guys are very skitty, and
That's good, actually.
it's
I
good.
like it.
It's good.
How do you spell it?
The way that rapper spelled it, ESKETIT.
Skid it.
Skid it.
Let's
All
skid
right.
it. All right.
But-
We're patenting that. That's from the Mixed Bag
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
I can definitely I would love to be in future podcasts and bring something new to the table because I'm kind of behind the scenes. I've just been looking at all of this behind the
No,
scenes.
you're right now. You're conversating right now. You're already
I am.
adding. So no
I'm already
worries.
adding more. But
So going from those events you've done in
Yes.
Chicago, there's also another thing you've done, like 3II, or what is that?
yes,
Dive into that.
the most recent one, and this thing is the United States has a big kind of. We have a lot of Indian communities, and
Sure, of course.
music is a huge thing in our country.
Yeah.
We got a lot in our music.
Music, when the music hits, my pain feels no soul. What is it?
I don't know the saying.
It's a cool saying. I definitely just butchered it.
Brian, is Gio,
Bob Marley said it.
is Gio okay?
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Say it.
No.
No, that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm just asking. Is he okay? Because if music hits, well, Golden Globes, by the way, Golden Globes recently, Telugu is one of the languages spoken in India, if you guys know.
Sure.
Tollywood movie, RRR, it's a it's a period action film.
It was nominated, right?
It was nominated, it won for music, it won
Sweet.
for, the won a song called Natu Natu.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
You like that song?
it's a pretty good song. It's pretty. I mean, you get to see us, our like culture, on big screen. It's interesting to see like this paradigm shift
Yeah.
of new, diverse, groups of.
I feel like Bollywood makes really good action movies.
They do be making it.
Have you seen any?
I've seen a lot. I've been kind of categorizing the bad ones and the good ones, and trying to see which ones are worthy.
Have you seen some random trailers for like Bollywood action movies?
They kind of over the top.
Yeah, I was like, their production level looks better than Hollywood, yo.
They
I
are.
want to watch it.
We could definitely do a party. We can get Kripa.
The times are changing for sure.
Kripa is
Heard about that life?
Kripa other than we can. Hey, Mixback Podcast, get 2 Indians. Each give you.
2 Indians is too much spiciness. You know what I'm saying?
We'll do a mixed curry podcast.
Oh,
We'll do
gosh.
if you
Mixed curry, all right.
Oh man, you're competing now.
wanna-
Okay.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah,
I don't mind it because Bollywood movies are like what, at least 3 hours long.
they are. Yeah, you add in the songs and everything. They're 3 hours, and the songs are like a huge part of the the cultural thing.
I mean, I sat through Avatar and it has no songs.
Oh,
so
jeez.
I'm sure I
But
could
it's like a spiritual movie though.
Kinda-
Avatar?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
they both are. I think.
Have you seen Avatar?
I have not seen Avatar. No,
Thought you was going with your dad.
I saw the first one. I've not seen the second one yet, but I was gonna go with my dad.
What?
But I think
Still
my mom.
time.
My mom got COVID. Yeah, my mom got COVID, and that just.
And you're like, come on, mom.
Come on, mom.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you can still schedule it in. It's just 3 hours, man.
It's for sure. I was thinking I can go with the with the men right here. We
Yeah,
can.
go with the Man of Peoria, bro.
Men of Peoria. We watch Batman together. We do all these different cinematic experiences. All my friends, Indian friends, are in Chicago. They're drinking, boozing. Much better being here. With the culture.
Are you doing dry January, or are you much of a drinker?
I had what was it, Don Julio on
I know him.
New Year's. You know Don Julio? Nice.
Just something chill, just celebrating the new year.
Celebrating the new year. Yeah,
Nice.
it was at the restaurant that we should all go to. Bloom Bavarchi. I used to work there.
Okay.
It's kind of a nightclub now. So
Nice.
if y'all wanna
So you was there for the party.
for the party, exactly.
In Blue Note or where at?
Blono. Bloomington normal. Yep, my mom.
Get it right. It's blown up.
Blue Note. Blue Note.
He likes to say blue no.
You love Bluno? That's cool.
Yeah, I say it like
Yeah.
that. There's a couple clubs and whatnot that I'm itching to try out.
Yeah, Euphoria nightclub.
Yes, yeah,
No,
Euphoria especially.
Euphoria, not the show, but the nightclub is pretty good.
Euphoria, the show is also kind of like a nightclub. You know?
I got you.
Got Beaver Brewery. Yeah, just hype it up.
We do. We have Beaver Brewery, and that's the thing. It's also campus town, so kind of like Carbondale and Peoria. We see our own ISU students.
Yeah, there's college
everywhere.
influence.
College influence, exactly. A lot of craziness too. Like I was at 1 a.m. I went to Windy City Wieners, and Gio definitely doesn't like that.
Is that in Bloomington? I thought you were in Chicago for a second.
No, yeah, that's in Bloomington. I've seen
It's in
it
Bloomington,
before.
of course. But I was in Uptown.
What'd you
Uptown
get?
Noble. I got a Buffalo Ranch sandwich or something. I think it's called.
It's good.
It's all right. It's kind of. I mean, Sam's Cafe from the Carbondale. That was another. It was kind of similar to that, but
Kind of where you go after a long night.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just gotta chill out.
Except we didn't see a lot of homeless people and high and a lot of
Good.
Carbondale.
That's
people.
good.
It's fine. I mean, it's they need places.
They need
to
to
stay.
eat too.
They need to.
They do,
It's
yeah.
America.
I mean, I'm disappointed when I do see homeless people. So that's a good thing when you don't see any.
For sure. For sure.
We love you, but
For sure. Me, Jillian, and I can tell you a lot of crazy stories from Carbondale.
I bet.
The locals, everything. It's a kind of town that you can make a whole season.
It can be a whole episode. It's a party
whole
town.
episode, yeah. You were asking me about just one last. You were asking me about the things that I've done. The things I've acted in.
Yeah, let's go back to it. Just tell the viewers what does 3I stand for?
3I, International Indian Icon is what
Okay,
it stands
okay.
for. It's a local competition that in Chicago that kind of they host all these different talents from all over the world. Usually from India, from
But specifically, kind of
Specific-
tailored
yeah.
for India.
tailored for India. You can be anyone, but yeah, specifically tailored for India, and they can do anything. There's a fashion competition. There's within that.
Oh, yeah?
There's a dance competition, and there's a singing competition.
How many of these competitions do you attend, or do you do the whole thing?
So it was a 3-day event, and they had all the things in one span, And I had to be, I was a videographer in it.
Cool.
And so Zora, this client who my new employer, who's been kind of giving me all these gigs in Chicago, she was like, "Hey, come through. We can."
You came through.
Came through
For sure.
with my
Came
camera.
through with the ISO.
Let's go. That's another thing. I'm a rookie. I'm still trying to. If I'm not a rookie, but I'm still trying to figure out, my
You're
way.
wetting your toes. We all start from somewhere.
Yeah.
Mistakes is how you learn the best.
That's what I'm saying. I have shot weddings through Geo's
Especially
camera.
on a $20,000 job.
It's true. And I have shot weddings with Geo's camera and everything.
Mm-hmm.
There was one very expensive big wedding that I went to. That that I was challenged. I was definitely challenged. My patience was tested. My skills were tested.
But like a survival, bro.
It's like who, the clients?
By the clients, by Geo as well. Like I'm telling
you, even had some anxiety at one point.
Anxiety at one point.
He's like calling me.
I'm at that state in life where I'm trying to come out of my comfort zone. But when you have a person like Geo as a mentor, I call him a mentor.
But I call him mentor too.
He calls me a mentor too.
The only thing is when you leave, he starts freaking out. When Rish leaves, like, okay,
he's like,
I'm in my bag.
Like, wait off my
That's how it feels, man.
No.
It's no. we mentor, and
Sure.
he can be the kind of mentor. If you've seen what's that movie? This Stanley Kubrick film.
He has a lot.
Full Metal Jacket.
Okay.
You
I
can
have seen it.
you can imagine Geo starting with his very dry sense of humor and very direct, straightforward response. You never know if he's joking around with you or not.
This is true.
When you got that ISO up,
You know. Brian knows.
It's because I have the same.
Actually, I think Brian just assumes I'm always joking, and that just saves
That's the dynamic. Anyone listening to this, that's the dynamic of Geo. You when you get to know him well, you see that he's an amazing person, but he's another.
But at the same time, he's the worst.
He's an entirely different person altogether. And
So what was it like acting in Independent, bro? Let's hype up the web series that people have been waiting a whole year for now.
Oh yeah.
The anticipation is just killing them.
Follow us on Instagram, Independent Series.
Independent series, yeah. Gio and I, we made this. I guided my buddy with 6 episodes
Yes, sir.
series about kind of a somewhat of a bio kind of documentary.
Very meta.
On our life, us two adults trying to become filmmakers in a place like Peoria.
Mm-hmm.
So it has the vibe. I was very impressed with the black magic and what Gio brought into. We went to Chicago 2 hours to get this look. I'm hyping it up. It's pretty good. I mean, you look at.
I agree. I helped.
You helped.
I think it's good.
You helped exactly, and I feel like the visuals and everything.
What do you guys think? And then we
Let us know.
Wait,
Let us know when it drops.
And then I'm eager to see what y'all think and
what was it like acting? Because you got to write it and kind of help produce, but then you also became the main character.
It was, yeah, and it was very much getting out of that comfort zone again, and kind of we went to 30/30 and we discussed all these things and getting into the main character, tapping into kind of my own personal experiences, getting to know Peoria a little more. I was that was the main point of it.
Basically translating from words into action.
Exactly, yeah, and that became the pivotal kind of part of the entire show. I think we all kind of got along.
And let me tell you, once you guys started rolling, it rolled. You guys kind of finished up pretty fast.
We did, yeah, and that's the kind of the life that once we become successful in the future, we're gonna look back at these kind of little moments.
For sure.
And hopefully,
You're already successful, man.
Oh,
it's just a state of mind.
Exactly.
That's true. That's true. That's very true.
What was it like being with Anthony? Since you were the main character, but we wrote Anthony kind of as of a secondary character. But like once we started looking at the scenes, I was like, Anthony actually has more lines than you do in most episodes.
He does, yeah.
Even though you still feel like the main character.
Yeah.
So what was it like to just like be with him the whole time? Basically, I don't think there's many scenes where you guys weren't together.
Yeah, I met him when I met him first. It was in that one. It was in the lodge, I think, or I probably met before that too. But once I got to know him more, he's a theater actor, and I got to then see that this is the talent. This is the kind of this is the amount of interest that I see here in place like Peoria.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of filmmakers am I looking at? Are they really do they have that conviction to go with it? And Anthony seems like he clicks with the material that he's given.
Got the vibe.
He's got the vibe. He doesn't really he doesn't half bake anything. He doesn't give you like a half baked kind of performance with anything. He understands kind of the ins and outs of it. I'm sure he's going to be improving that more and more and more. So I kind of it was kind of I felt a little intimidated, of course, acting with him because he just the way that he would give.
You pulled it off pretty natural.
Thank you. I want to I wanted to kind of I want to tell him because I've never talked to him after this.
He basically dead to you after that.
He kind of ghosted all of us.
Off the face of the earth.
I don't think anyone expected the wait to be this long.
Yeah,
I take full responsibility.
No, you're good. You're good. But I'm talking as
I've been hyping people up since September, man.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm just like, let's just keep them waiting. Let's see, like, when everybody completely forgets, we just drop it,
Once we're down to 100 followers on Instagram, then we know those are the real ones. Yeah. Then we'll drop it for them.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, at one point we had our reel on Instagram, and it got some
it got decent numbers.
Some decent numbers. Gio, of course, as a mentor, he yelled at me in the video, but some commenter was like, "Hey, why you yell at Rish, man?"
Oh, that was fun.
I saw that. Yeah,
but even though I felt very nice for that guy did it, that he backed me up, but at the same time, I felt like, we're getting a lot of attention now. We're getting
started something.
We're starting something.
I'm not Shyamalan was looking at that reel like, oh shoot, I got competition.
We're gonna go to Knock at the Cabin. We're gonna go to the premiere, and we're gonna be like, hey, can you make a deal with us?
Yeah, 2023 is the year.
Exactly.
For sure.
So my kind of goal is to with independent kind of move along with this and then kind of work on myself with this new job that I have with editing. Typical, early 20s, getting my job, save up my equipment.
Adulting,
yeah, physically be active, go out everywhere, don't stay at home. Basically, the models that Gio has for me every single time, he always...
I stay at home all the time.
You stay at home all the time, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Brian's the one out there chasing crocodiles.
You got that factory job.
Yeah.
That's true. But
he works as a photographer. I don't know if you knew.
Oh, crap. I'm sorry, man.
No, you're good. Okay.
Well,
if that's behind me now.
It's behind you. You did get a camera that Gio got.
I was so impressed when we were doing independent. I was like, you know what? It's a nice entry level mirrorless, so might as well.
Yeah.
Nikon Z50.
Nikon Z50.
Shout out.
Yeah, and to give a little more context, these two, they're photographers, man. They Brian, who's right in front of me, he goes to the wildlife and he takes all these photos.
Steve Irwin ain't got nothing on him, bro.
He's definitely gonna rest in peace, R.I.P. He's definitely gonna be with his son one day. Hopefully you don't get in front of a tiger.
Who's gonna be with whose son?
You're gonna be with Steve Irwin's son taking
Robert. Oh, because his son does it too, right?
His son does it too. Yeah. What'd you think I said?
I thought you meant like the sun.
Oh
like,
no.
Brian's like, don't kill me, bro. Not tonight.
It took a dark turn, of course.
Oh man.
Don't worry, I won't get too big in myself.
No, don't do that.
So I know you wanted to get emotional tonight though, so. Why don't you just share a little of your goals overall in your life, not just your filmmaking? We'd love to hear about it.
Like, you like the way your life is going now? You like how what's happening?
Kind of. Well, if you want to get emotional, I gotta be emotional.
Like laughing.
I gotta be emotional, but we can get some some drinks here. You want to?
No, we're doing dry January.
Strong without it. Yeah.
All right, we'll go with sober then.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, to top it off, it's just typical, early 20s syndrome for me. I'm trying to find myself through navigating myself through life, and today I kind of was looking at how much skills how much expertise do I have in this, and filmmaking is the kind of thing where you have to dig very deep into the technical aspects of camera and the settings and the codecs and all these different things. It so gets on your nerves, and so what you have to do is you have to fight that resistance that you have. I mean, fight it meaning you have to find ways to get out of that. It's like same way writers and same way you guys have resistance when it comes to when you get up for something, or when you want to talk to someone who's mad at you, or when you any uncomfortable situations, anything that you guys have been through, those look very uncomfortable. You have to kind of pass through that in order to reach that new kind of that new chapter that you want to, or that new image that you see yourself that can only be obtained once you go through those trials, you know. And it sounds cliche for sure, but it's true.
It is. You know what? So Gio opened it up greatly because usually we're wrapping up the show, and usually we ask everybody, you know, what's one piece of advice you would give anybody going through a hurdle in life? And you kind of ended it beautifully. So if you wanted to add any ending notes, now's your chance.
Well, ending notes is you know, when you got a friend, close friend, you know, who knows you, when you got people in your life, especially support crew, yeah, and not only just your parents, your people who are your age or, you know, older than you. Even though you feel young in front of them, you just cherish them. You know, if they give you attention, cherish them, and of course, you know, not everyone's gonna be on your side, and not gonna get along because they have their own things to worry about. So exactly. You be with people who give you, you know, that attention and who attract your inner compass and allow you to, you know, because you have an inner compass. You're kind of like a magnet. You want to attract people who are positive. So that's what Gio is to me. That's what you are to me. That's what the Cammy is. Who's sitting behind the camera.
The cam.
Yes. The cam.
The cam.
The cam.
The cam.
On the cam.
Camera.
Cam on the cam. Bird on the word. Let's go.
Bird on the word. There we go. That's a.
Well, thanks to everybody for listening. Thank you, Rish, for being a part of this.
Thank you.
You guys will see us whenever.
See you later.
See you later. Peace.
Bye-bye.